What's up? Good morning. Welcome to Trading Live with Bubba for Thursday, June the 12th. And I wish I could tell you that it was crazy busy, but it's not. Pretty good recovery in the markets, though, from down substantially to higher. We're back on the rate cut kick again. And I don't understand why traders believe that the rate cut helps them. It does not. The rate cut helps the banks, but if you go back to last September when they started the first couple of rate cuts, the 10-year notes were 3.5%. Well, the 10-year notes or your borrowing rate has gone higher, while the bank borrowing rate has gone lower. So all that really means is the banks are making more money. But in the meantime, you can see our volume is pathetic, okay, which is why we're not very active. With my regular group, we tried to trade the PPI this morning. And we had 3 trades, which were all winners, but there wasn't enough real action. And I called those trades speculation or gambling trades because we didn't have as much probability in our favor as we would like. But again, right now we're just waiting for some volume and some action. We need, normally in the Dow, we're looking for 5,000. You're under 2,000. Russell 5,000, you're under 2,000. S&P 20,000, you're under 10, and NASDAQ 10,000, you're under 5. So that right away, that tells you that there's probably not much to trade here. Gold is rallying again, which would indicate that inflation is on the rise. And our open trades are right there. They could be winners or they could be losers this week. We'll see what happens. But again, notice the lack of action to the market in general. Gold is having a nice little spike higher, but it's really just in that consolidation range. So again, it would probably be a sell somewhere around here for a trade. Again, I'm not telling you to sell it, and that is going way lower, but probability wise suggests that we would be somewhere in a sell. But if we take a look at some stocks and see if we can find any trades to put on, Apple is still in nowheresville. Amazon, which we put on the other day, okay, is coming in nicely. So that's going to be a working trade. Now, we don't know if it's going to win yet because we haven't cashed the ticket yet, but we're well ahead there. Coin continues to vacillate between 240 and 280. So where am I going to go? Okay, what do I want to do with this? Crowd rallying a little bit. We never took this trade. We looked at it up. We were looking for 500, never got there. It did drop from where we talked, but we did not take a trade here, and I don't see a trade to make right now either. Meta, we do have open, which is right near being profitable. We'll see it. It'll really depend on what happens tomorrow. Google, which we did not take because there was not enough premium that we wanted to take. So again, it didn't work, but you have to set some boundaries and some rules to trading. Otherwise, you're making a mistake. We're getting a little rally here. Let's see if we're getting any action. Yeah, we might get something here in the NASDAQ, maybe the S&P. So let's see what it looks like. Pretty sharp rally. Pretty interesting how fast they turned around. So right now, all we would potentially have would be either the NASDAQ or the S&P. I would recommend that if you're new or you're concerned or you're a little afraid of losing money, then you probably want to stick with the S&P. The NASDAQ's a little bit whippier. Of course, obviously that can work for you as well as against you. But either way, we have a look at both the S&P and the NASDAQ. So we'll take a look and we'll see where that comes in. Our stop in the S&P would be 60.56. Okay. We're still waiting for an entry point. Our stop in the NASDAQ, if we take that, would be 2203. 2203. Okay. If we would take a look at that. So right now we're waiting for us to get the trigger. Okay. And we'll see. We don't have a trigger yet. We're waiting for a red bar now. After the bar closed, they're still going higher, which is fine. Okay. And there's nothing else. So it's just those two potential trades. But again, they haven't given us the trigger yet to go ahead and get short. So we have to wait until we get that trigger and then officially set our stop. Right now, our stop in the S&P would be 60.56. Okay. I'm going to throw my stop in just so I don't have to deal with it if we get the trade, because I'm going to take it. Okay. But I don't have a trade yet. Okay. Remember, there's not a trade yet. We're waiting for the opportunity. And now you're getting to an area where the risk might be a little steep for some, so that you have to make that decision as well. If you're comfortable with the amount that you could lose, and if you're trading one mini S&P, which equals 10 micros, our risk on this trade is $400. Okay. If you're trading the micros, then it depends on what quantity you are, but it's anywhere from $44 to $40. So, but this is a trade if you want to take it. Okay. And then you're going to put your orders in to buy a 1.5 below, another point, and 3 points below, and you've got your stop working. So let's see if we get some help here and get an opportunity. The NASDAQ would have been a sell as well, but I chose not to take the NASDAQ because it does have a dramatic amount of whip. And again, for those who are not comfortable or not used to this type of trading, I don't want to put you in something that's going to have so fast movement, especially when it's so thin. Okay. So right now our S&P is marginally profitable, but again, there is no profit or loss until you close the trade. Okay. That's one of the things that we're looking at. So we'll continue to watch this and see if anything else develops. It does not appear to be. So very quiet, which is a tragedy. Okay. You have a little bit of a profit, and you should be out of one of your S&Ps. Go ahead now and move your stop to break even on the balance. So you'll guarantee yourself a profit on this trade. And now we're just going to let it trade. We are working to get out of one more, a little bit lower, but we are protected. So we'll see what happens there. And again, there is nothing else really going on at the moment. So we are in. We have a profit locked in, and let's just go back and see what's going on elsewise while we're waiting. Because again, nothing I'm going to do. I'll hear the noise when the trade's filled. IWM was a nice win for us the other day. We sold the call spreads right up in the top there, which worked out fine. Microsoft, again, would be a potential sell, but the volume is so light, I'm going to let it go. MSTR, still stuck in consolidation, not much to do. Nugget, nothing to do. NVIDIA, there might be something you want to look at here. It isn't a potential opportunity. I'm going to pass it for now. The Qs, which we did the other day, worked beautifully. SMCI is still just stuck in that tight little range. XYZ, which is square, no trade. SPY, potential, but again, I'm being extra conservative because I just don't see the real true opportunities right now. Tesla, which we didn't have a chance to get in, it already popped, but it would have been a buy down in here. Okay. And again, I'm not telling you that because you should have. I mean, I did buy it down there and we did talk about it. So again, it's not a question. When, nothing to do. XBI, nothing to do. And Zoom could be a potential buy. This is an area you might want to look at. A, you're coming down to oversold. B, you're coming down to the 200-day moving average. So you could get a pop here. Let's take a look and see if we can get any credit. We'll do this for next week. Let's see here. Zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. All right, so we want to sell put spreads for the 20th. And let's see if we sell the 70, 750. You know, I tell you truthfully, there is not enough. There's not enough juice. There's not enough premium, so I'm going to just pass it. Again, I don't have to trade. The markets will be here. The markets will be open. The markets are going to trade. So I don't have to force any action. You should have a second one off on the S&P, the micros, if you're trading along with me. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I have 2 left. I'm going to split them. I'm going to put a trailing stop on one, and I'm going to leave one at a break-even stop. But in the meantime, I've got right now about 70, 80 bucks on the micros locked up. If you're trading the bigger ones and you got as much as 700, 800 locked up, again, just depends on what size contract you're trading. I normally trade the big ones, but when I'm trading with everybody here, I trade the micros the same as you, so I can have a good idea how everybody did and what you should be in and where your fill should be. And again, as we sit back and wait, maybe gold will give us something. I doubt it because it's not enough volume. It is selling off, but there's not enough juice there to get it. So we can sit and wait. You know, and if you guys have questions, feel free to fire in questions at any time. I mean, I'm happy to answer them. You know, I've been doing this for 47 years, 35 as a floor trader. So if you have any questions as to what we're doing, certainly you can feel free to ask. If you have questions about any other specific stocks or anything else, you can ask that too. Again, this is an open forum here. Okay. And I'm happy to give you all the information you need and help you out wherever I can. To me, that's what this is all about. That's why I do this, is to help everybody out. So, you know, if you have questions, feel free to ask. But in the meantime, from a trading standpoint, there's virtually nothing to do. So what do we do when there's nothing to do? We do nothing. Remember, the decision not to trade is the same as making a trade. Your number one part of your business that you have here is your inventory. Your inventory is your money. Okay. So you can't give away your inventory. Okay. You have to be very diligent about trading. And if you can tell me what we should be doing right here, other than sitting here on our hands waiting, I'd love to hear it. Because for my money, I don't see anything that I'd really like to do right here. It just doesn't seem like there's really a lot for us to do. I'm certainly not just going to buy. Okay. I have to have a reason to trade whichever side I'm going to do. And I'm certainly not just going to sell them. I would be more inclined if I were going to do anything to sell. But I'm not doing anything because there's not enough speed. There's not enough emotion. There's not enough action to this market that says that I need to be overly involved. Okay. So, you know, again, I need to see a big spike in volume. I need some emotion or some panic, you know, on either side, either FOMO or whatever, for me to want to jump in any of these trades. And you know, again, our S&P trade is working fine, and no big issue. It's making money, and it's gonna be a profit, no matter what. Okay, so that we don't have to worry about. We will just sit and let it trade. And again, I'm not going to force anything. There's no reason. There's no percentage in forcing any trades. Okay. But the S&P trades up about $100. So on 4 micros, and certainly okay for 5 minutes. But again, overall, I don't see much excitement here. Okay. I don't see much that I need to be jumping in and forcing trade and doing all that other stuff. And I hope that makes sense to everybody because nobody talks to me. So, but again, if you have questions, feel free to fire them in. I got not much to say at the moment because there's not much to do. You know, just see if there's anything happening down in some of these other things I watch. Not really. Not much action. So again, I just tell you, we sit here and this is part of the trade. This is why after this, I'll be going out to play golf because I'm not going to sit here and stare at paint dry, because the more you stare, the more likely you are to make a mistake, okay, and see a mirage of a trade that really doesn't exist, but you're so desperate to want to trade that you'll make a trade that is probably not very good, okay. You have to be disciplined. Now, maybe gold will give us something here. If the gold volume gets up to here, which I don't think it is, but if it gets up to here, I'll look at it. Okay. I don't think it'll get there, but it would be one that I would be willing to look at should it get to that point. All right, I just got stopped out of another micro on the trailing stop. I still have one left over, which is working at a tiny profit which will make the trade. I'm guaranteed to make about $85 on this trade, if not more. And that's if you're trading the micros. If you're trading the bigs, and you're up 850. So that's, again, it just depends on the size of the contract, and remember that all relates back to risk. And I wouldn't be surprised, just an opinion, I would not be surprised if these markets closed on their lows before the day's over. Right now they're higher. Okay. And I'm not telling you to do anything about it. I am not predicting. Okay. Let me see if I can show you how this sets up, if I can figure it out here. Let's take the MES. Oh, I got to put that in because I don't track that as a rule. Okay, so let's do 4 next week. So I want to actually, let me see here. Let's buy this and then add. So I'm going to do 3 of these. Actually, I'm going to sell 3 futures. And I want to buy for next week. We're at 6,100. So I want to buy. Oh, it won't let me do it. Okay. I'd want to buy 5. Excuse me. I'd want to buy 5. I'd want to buy 5. I want to buy 5 futures. 5 at the money calls. Okay. Which is at a 3-by-5 ratio, which is basically a 50 delta negative trade, that if the markets go up, the delta will turn positive and I'll actually be long. The market goes down, my deltas will continue to stay short to a maximum of 300 if the options become worthless. And of course, the most money on this trade will be made to the downside, but you can make money to the upside as well. Okay. In the meantime, your S&P trade is doing very well. Okay. Nice big profit there. And of course, maybe now we will get a sale in crude oil. That was a hell of a move. Okay. Now, again, obviously, we've only got a couple of minutes left, so we may not be together if you don't want to take the trade. But right now, something's going on because you're getting the markets are starting to drop. Crude is flying. Gold is back rallying again. Look at that. Too bad we didn't get a trade there. Actually, gold could become a sale now. Okay. So obviously there were some news items that come out, but again, I don't know if you want to get involved because I won't be here to help you manage them, or if you're comfortable and familiar with this, then God bless. Okay. But gold would be definitely a potential sale, and crude is also a potential sale. Now the stop on crude would be 68.90. It's blown back a little bit too fast, so it gives me really no trade to make. I'm not gonna take extra risk here based on this move all the way down. See, I don't have an entry yet. I've got to wait till this bar closes, and it's already sold off 40 cents. So why would I want to give that much of an edge up on either? So unfortunately, there was a little bit of excitement. There was a potential trade, but they turned out not to be. So we have an open trade. Leave your stop in at break even or take the profit if you're in. And if not, I'll see you all next Tuesday. Remember, every morning I do the Market 120, which is a quick commentary. In the meantime, have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the U.S. Open. We'll see you later.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.